Hi Stampers, I'm Nancy Novak from StampandShout.com. Join me today as we create cozy holiday cards using the Humble Home stamp set with coordinating punch and some Festive Designer Series paper. So in this video, I'm going to start off by showing you various ways to stamp and style houses. I'm going to show you how to use the stamps and the punch. Then I'm going to demo a couple of cards. And be sure to stay to the end for a sneak peek at several more holiday cards made with this Humble Home stamp set. And I'm going to show you cards using all of the techniques that we do right here in the beginning of this video. So the first thing we're going to do is just bring in a piece of white cardstock and some Memento black ink. And there are a couple of different houses that you can stamp and punch out. We have this cute little house here with lots of design to it. And then we have the brick house. And then we have the roof line. And then we have the doors and the windows. We have a wreath, we have a heart, and we have lots of great coordinating sentiments. But again, I like to mix and match. So if there's not a sentiment here that fits your house card, you can always go to whatever other stamp sets you have on hand. Let's start off with this pretty design stamp. Okay, I'm just going to stamp it in Memento black ink. And then I'm going to color it in with my Stampin' Blends. And actually, I even have a marker here. But let's just color this in with light crumb cake. So I'm just going to outline the little areas with the thin end of my Stampin' Blend. Kind of outline the whole thing, actually. Just how I color. You can do it however you normally color in things. And since I'm doing this big space up here, I'm going to use the big tip and just color in the house with my Stampin' Blend. I'm pressing really light with the Stampin' Blend. You don't want to squish the tip. Then I'm going to bring in, let's do the chimney too. Then I'm going to bring in real red and do the roof line. And color in the door. And the top and the bottom of the windowsills. And then we'll bring in some granny apple green and we'll do the scallops. So I'm using just the skinny end of the blend for this because it's a teeny tiny spot to color in. And then I'm going to bring in my punch and we'll punch it out. So again, remember to stay to the end. I'm going to show you samples of cards made with all of these little designs that we created. Plus, we're going to make 2 cards on our own here. So we'll put that off to the side. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a piece of colored cardstock and I'm going to bring in the roof. And I'm going to stamp in Memento black ink. So the technique for this is color cardstock and Memento black ink. And we're going to bring in the door stamp. It's actually doors and windows. We're going to punch this out first so I know where to stamp my doors and windows. So just punching out cardstock with the roof line stamped on it. Then we're going to bring in that door stamp, doors and windows. We'll stamp that. Then I'm going to bring in a scrap of white. I'm going to punch out a couple of windows. I'm going to bring in my little mat to stamp on. So I got 2 little white squares that I punched out. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this stamp off so it doesn't have the Memento black ink on it. And I'm going to bring in yellow. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of yellow right on the edge of that stamp. I'm going to stamp the window. Just like that. Do it again. I'm just inking up just the edge. I don't need the whole thing. You could stamp up the whole, ink up the whole thing and stamp the whole thing. You'd have some ink on your table, but I'm just stamping the little square in yellow and we're going to have a window. So let me bring in some glue. Now, the easiest way to do this, I find, is instead of trying to put ink on the back of here and putting it down, I just like to, or instead of putting glue on the back of your little window, I like to just put a little dot, that's even too much, just a little dot, and then we can go ahead and lay our window down. Lay this window down. Okay, then we're going to bring in a scrap of, I'll do this one in pink, and we're just going to punch out a heart. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a little dab of glue right there. And then we'll lay our heart on our house. And there's, whoops. And there is another way to use the stamps and the punch. Remember, I'm going to have a sample of this card or something using this type of technique right at the end of this video. Okay, what are we going to do next? Okay, now we're going to bring in the brick stamp, and we're going to bring in a scrap, and we're going to stamp in crumb cake. You could stamp, obviously, any color houses you want. This is just to show you how, just different ways to use the stamps and the punch. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in crumb cake. And then I'm going to bring in real red. And I'm going to stamp a roof line. I can do it anywhere. Now you could stamp this roof line right on top. Let me show you. Let's do it that way. There's two different ways you can do this. I'm going to stamp it right on top. If you're afraid you're not going to make it exact, it's really easy because you can see right through these stamp sets. There, it's perfect. So I'm going to show you two ways to do it. So that's one way, and if you make a mistake or it doesn't look really perfect, we can always fussy cut a roof out. Just like that. And then, like I said, if you wanted, you could raise up the roof a little bit high. Raise the roof, isn't that a song? So you could just fussy cut out a roof. Let's do another one. I'll show you. Because sometimes you want to work with different colors. Sometimes you don't stamp exactly right. I'm going to go ahead and punch this house out. What I'm doing is I'm lining up the bottom. And then I'm going to fussy cut this roof line out. Finish fussy cutting it out. And then you can glue it on like that. Just like that. And let's do our door and our windows, okay? So let's see. I think I'll do the door in red. And since there's two things you can do here, you can stamp right on there, and in fact we can do that. And if, whoops, wrong color. I'm gonna stamp in red. So you can stamp, and if it's light enough and your door shows up well, you can do it like that. But this is what I want to show you. I'm going to fussy cut this door out. You can kind of see the brick through that red ink there, so I really don't want that. We're going to make some windows too. So I'm going to go ahead and put my door down. And then I'm going to bring in the window stamp again. Here's a little square that we punched out before. I'm going to do the same thing that we did last time. And I think this time I will do it in Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to ink up just the window. And we'll put that on our house. Let me go ahead and glue our roof on here. And there is another cute house, right? Could add a wreath on here, which we haven't done a wreath yet. So let's do a wreath really quick. So I'm going to ink this little wreath up in Memento black ink. And I'm going to bring in my blends. And we're going to use Granny Apple Green for the wreath and a red bow. And this will tie all the colors together on this house. Then you need to fussy cut your wreath. We'll add our wreath right there. Now we made a little house for Christmas. Again, stay to the end. I'll show you a really cute card made with that technique. What do I have next? Let me see. Okay, so on this one, I am going to stamp that really pretty house in Memento black ink right on colored cardstock. Just like that. And then we'll punch this out. Then I'm going to bring in a scrap of white, and I'm just going to punch a white house. Then I'm going to bring in the stamp that's in the set that says from our house to your house. And I'm going to stamp right in the center of that white house. Just like that. I stamped a little bit to the bottom because I'm going to put a wreath right at the top. So put a little dab of glue right here. And you saw me stamp a wreath already. So I'm just going to bring another wreath in. And this actually, we're going to make this card together using this technique. So stick around, we'll do that in a minute. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some pretty designer series paper. And I'm just going to stamp a house. So pick a little spot that looks pretty. There's one house. And we'll do the other side for a striped house. And then we'll do another one. So I saw this right on the Stampin' Up Facebook page. And I just saw it today, so I thought, oh, that is really cute. I got to make sure I put that in tonight's video. Actually, I saw it yesterday. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a complementary color in. So these colors are Petunia Pop. That designer series paper is Petunia Pop. Now I'm going to bring in Berry Burst. And we'll bring in another scrap of white. And I'm going to bring in the Brick House. And let's see here. We'll fit it right here at the bottom. So I'm stamping Berry Burst on white cardstock, just like that. And I'm going to stamp the roof. I'm going to stamp that in Berry Burst. And we'll go ahead and punch this out. And I'm going to bring in Petunia Pop, which is the color of these over here, these houses. And we're going to go ahead and stamp with our door and window stamp. We'll stamp right on these pretty little houses. I'll stamp a door and window in the Berry Burst on this one. And we don't care that they're not a different color. We don't care that we have yellow windows on this because this is going to be a monochrome colored card. So that really doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to bring in a piece of white that I ran through the exposed brick embossing folder. And we're going to go ahead and lay these houses down. Let's see, I think we'll pop some of them up with dimensionals. Glue on this one. So we're just making this one really quick. This isn't one that I had originally planned to make with everyone, but I thought it was so cute. Go ahead and put this one behind that one. And then we'll pop this one up. And then somewhere on here, I bet I have a pretty Petunia Pop heart somewhere in all of this stuff. Here's one. So I think I'll put that right there, like it's coming out of that chimney. Okay. I'm going to put that on a Berry Burst card base. And then they had a pretty green. So this is Old Olive. I'm going to bring that in. And I'm going to stamp Welcome in Berry Burst. Oh, it looks pretty. Very cool. So I'm just going to cut this out like a jig-jag a little bit. You could use one of your pretty dies, but since I wasn't planning on making this card tonight, I'm just going to do a little bit of fussy cutting on it. down here. And I'm going to punch out a couple more hearts. Fill up that top space. I think that's good. So that's just a quick and easy card. I love that. But okay, so what we did here was we basically just punched out designer series paper, and it really looks cute. You have to see it in person. It's really darling. So that'd be great for welcome home, welcome to the neighborhood, whatever you think. Okay, what are we doing next? Ooh, we're going to heat emboss. And again, this is going to be one of the cards that we're going to make in a minute. So I'm going to bring in Early Espresso and Versamark. And we're going to stamp that pretty design house, cute little house with all the little pretty swirls on it. And we're going to stamp that in Versamark. And then I'm going to bring in some white embossing powder. And then we're going to heat it up and punch it out. How cute, it looks like a little gingerbread house. Okay, so now let's make a couple of cards using some of these techniques. We're going to use a real red card base, and we're going to use a piece of white that is stamped or embossed with the snowflake embossing folder. And then I have some of this pretty designer series paper that I cut 2 strips out of, and this designer series paper is called Take a Bow. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here, and we put one on each end, just like that. I can go ahead and glue this to the front of our card. And don't forget, whenever I demo a card for you guys, like this one and the next one, you will have a project sheet. So I give you all the sizes and the dimensions and all the supplies that I use, the colors and everything. All you need to do is sign up for my newsletter, and I will email it right to your email address. Or you can scroll down below and look for the words project sheet, and you can find your project sheet there. Okay, I know we already did this, but I can't find it on my desk, so I'm going to do it again. So I'm just going to stamp a house in white, and then I'm going to stamp from our house to your house in real red right in the middle of it. And then we need a wreath. So we'll stamp that on a scrap of white, and then we'll color it in with Granny Apple Green and real red. I'm going to pop that wreath up with a dimensional. Then these are our houses, and the technique is stamping with Memento ink on colored cardstock. So I'm going to put a dimension on the back of each one of these houses. And I'm kind of going to dry fit them first, where they're going to go. Then I'm going to stick them down with the dimensional on the back. And then this one, I'll put 2 dimensionals on. That's going to go right in the center of our card. Just like that. And let me get a little bit of bling. Rhinestone right in the center of that wreath. And just doing that really, really makes this pop. And then inside I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas, and I'm going to stamp that in real red. I just think that's so cute. And then we're going to glue that to the inside of our card. So there's quick and easy card using one of the techniques that I showed you, stamping on colored cardstock. And I have another Christmas card done. Yay! Okay, now let's do the gingerbread one. That is so cute. Okay, so for this, Again, I'm going to use a card base of Real Red. And I have a layer of Granny Apple Green. And that's okay that that circle is punched out of there because we're not going to see it. We're going to cover it up. There's going to be a white piece that goes right here. I'm going to run that through the Snowflake embossing folder. Okay, so that's embossed. This is actually called Snowflake Sky. That's the name of this embossing folder. So I am going to go ahead and adhere this to the Granny Apple Green piece. It just has a slight little border around the edge. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that to the front of our card, get that done. Then I have a piece of that designer series paper. Again, this is called, the pack is called Take a Bow. It's got some gorgeous, gorgeous paper in there. And we're going to put that right at the top of our white piece. Okay, then I have 3 circles. So I will let you know in your project sheet the sizes of the circles. I have a Real Red one, I have a Granny Apple Green one, and I have a white one. And that white one, I'm going to go ahead and put it through that embossing folder so it looks really pretty. Again, that's the Snowflake Sky embossing folder. Give it some texture. Okay, now I'm just going to glue all 3 of these together. And when you're gluing the smaller one to a larger one, you want to put your glue on the smaller piece because that way the glue won't squish out. You'll get it just where you need it. It's kind of hard to glue that bigger piece because you're not sure how much of it's going to overlap. So you want to glue the smaller piece to the larger piece. And then I'm going to take a little scrap sheet here and I'm going to bring in that stamp From Our House to Your House and some Real Red ink. That's going to go right there, but I need to cut it down. And you know what? I could cut it down, but I think I'm going to jig-jag it. You know what might be cute? I was kind of thinking maybe I would punch out a house, but this is going to be our gingerbread house on this card. And I think I just want something simple over here for the sentiment. Of course, you can do whatever you like when you're making your card. Just giving you some ideas here, and hopefully you like them. Go ahead and leave me some comments. Let me know what you think of the card so far. I'm going to glue that down. And then we have our little house. And that looks just a little bit too plain, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a scrap of Granny Apple Green. And we're going to punch out 2 hearts. So we need 2 Granny Apple Green hearts. There's one. And there's the other one. And then we need another wreath. So again, we're going to stamp that in Memento Black ink. And you know what? I'm going to do something different. I think I'm going to stamp the wreath in Memento Black ink. I'm going to stamp it on Granny Apple Green. And then I'll just color in the bow with Real Red. And these little green hearts are going to be like little shrubs in front of the house. So we're going to put a little dab of glue on each side. And a dab of glue up here for our wreath. I need to fussy cut the wreath out real quick. Okay, so now we're going to pop the circle up on the front of our card. We're going to pop our house up also. And we're going to bring in the little peppermint embellishments. These come in different sizes, small, medium, and large. And we're just going to take a small one and put it right on the front of our door there. So cute. And then I'm going to go ahead and put another rhinestone right in the middle of our wreath because that really, really makes it pop. Then I have a piece of white and granny apple green for the inside. And I am going to go ahead and stamp in real red our little Merry Christmas sentiment. And just because this stamp is in here and I want to show it to you, it's got a really pretty heart stamp in this set. And I'm going to stamp off twice. Okay, I got a big old smudge there. I gotta do that over. That was gonna be so cute. And since my hands are a little bit inky, I am not gonna glue this right now because I might mess that up. But that's gonna be the inside of our card. And there's the front of our card. And now let me show you some more cards that I made using this cute stamp set and all the different techniques that I showed you. Okay, here we go. So here's a little tag that I made. And this is using the technique where we stamped in Memento black ink on white and then we colored it in with our Stampin' Blends. And then this one is stamping the roof in Memento black ink right on cardstock. So then the stamp set has Welcome Home and it has For the Sweet Gift. So I just stamped Home and Sweet and then cut them out and put Home Sweet Home. Again, we just stamped on different colored cardstock, and there where we added is where we added the windows. I showed you how to do that. And then inside we have Welcome with that pretty heart stamp. And here is the card where we stamped in Crumb Cake, and then we added a red roof and a red door. And again, we stamped the windows separately. Now this Merry Christmas is from a stamp set that I have that's not part of this stamp set. And then these little hollies are from the Reindeer Fun set. And then again, this sentiment is from an old stamp set I have. I thought this was really cute with the home. It says Merry Christmas, and then it says, may the magic of the season fill your heart and home. I thought that was cute. And here is one, let's see, where's the one that we just did? Okay, this is the one I had made ahead of time. So this one's using monochromatic colors. So this is one I did ahead of time. So that's stamped, that's house punched out of designer series paper. There is a brick house stamped in the boho blue, and then just a plain old white house stamped in boho blue. So that again has got the snowflake sky embossing folder. But then here's the same one that we did. So this is not Christmas themed at all. And again, we just punched houses out of designer series paper, and then we stamped one with the brick stamp, and we created a welcome card. So that's how we did that one. And then what else did we do? Oh, then we did our color cardstock, and we stamped on with Memento black ink. This one's not wrapped up. We stamped Merry Christmas inside. And then we did our heat embossing, made our little gingerbread house with those cute little peppermint embellishments. Looks so cute. And then this is what I made last time, and this video is out there. And this was my fun fold that I made using this set. And then inside, Merry Christmas. So a lot of options there for you using the Humble Home stamp set and punch. And this, just so you know, is $39.50 for both the Humble Home stamp set and the punch. Just want to let you know, because sometimes you think they're so expensive, and that's really not bad when you can make so many different kinds of cards, and they're easy. That's what I like about them. They're quick and easy. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Go ahead and type me in a comment. Let me know if you have a favorite card. Let me know how you enjoyed the video. Oh, I want to tell you one more thing. So these are my stamp sets that I'm going to be using in my upcoming videos. So just in case you want to get them ahead of time, I have the one-of-a-kind stamp set, and that I believe has a little die set that comes with it. Oh, I can't wait to use this one. This is Reindeer Fun. This is the one that I used the holly dies for on that card. hang an ornament, make some fun cards with that. And then merriest trees, that's one of my favorites. So again, those videos will be coming up. Go ahead and leave me some comments, share my video. Don't forget to like, and don't be shy. Stamp and shout.